Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. In this section, I'm going to explain on objectives of consumption, importance of consumption, and Muslim consumer behavior. So, what are the objectives of consumption? Generally, there are 4 objectives of consumption. First is to attain al-falah. What is al-falah? Al-falah means success. And in Islam, the meaning of success here meaning we need to succeed in this world and in the hereafter. Yeah, so that's what. So the meaning is, whatever things that we do as vice children of Allah, as caliph of Allah, need always to be in line with Islamic teachings, yeah, in order to achieve the true success, yeah, in life, in Islam. Okay, second objective is we able, by having Islamic consumption, we able to match, yeah, the needs that we want, because we know already that human has unlimited wants, yeah. So by having Islamic consumption, we're able to match the needs, yeah, whether it's necessary or not, yeah, to us. Okay, third one is to uphold Islamic principles in consumption. So that's why we have certain guidelines, principles, like we have, I have discussed before, yeah, I've explained before in previous slide. We have like principle of halal, principle of moderate, yeah. Why? To make sure that all Muslims uphold, yeah, Islamic principles in their lives, including in consumption. Yeah, so meaning that we able to know what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. Yeah, okay, and the last one is to achieve the blessing of Allah, which is mardatillah. Yeah, so this is the ultimate goal, the ultimate objective of all Islamic consumption. Yeah, so why do we need to have all this? In order to get blessing from Allah. Yeah. Now, what are the importances of consumption? First, in accordance with Allah's will or sunnatullah. Yeah, that's the importance of consumption. Consumption activities naturally satisfying human needs, and consumption stimulates production, and this will promote economic growth. And human is indeed accountable in managing the resources available on earth. And this we can see in chapter 6, verse 165, okay, Surah Al-An'am. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وهو الذي جعلكم خلائف الأرض ورفع بعضكم فوق بعض درجات ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم إن ربك سريع العقاب وإنه لغفور رحيم. The meaning is, it is He who hath made you as His agents, inheritors of the earth. He hath raised you in ranks, some above others, that He may try you in the gift He hath given you. For the Lord is quick in punishment, yet He is indeed of forgiving, most merciful. So it shows that all human beings are accountable, yeah, to manage the resources, yeah, available on earth as vice children of Allah or caliph of Allah. The second importance is practice of moderation. Yeah, moderation in consumption promotes higher level of saving and production, like we have discussed in previous slide. And Islam teaches its believers to maintain a moderate level of consumption, as those with moderation will receive the blessing from Allah. And this is mentioned in chapter 25, verse 67. Yeah, in Surah Al-Furqan. Okay, let me recite to you the verse. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والذين إذا أنفقوا لم يسرفوا ولم يقتروا وكان بين ذلك قواما. Okay, the meaning is, those who when they spend are not extravagant and not niggardly, but who adjust. meaning balance, yeah, between those extremes. So here meaning we need to be always moderate, yeah, in our consumption. Yeah, that what Islam asks us to do and teaches us to do. Okay, third one, providing ethical standard for Muslim to observe. In this matter, Islam prohibits Muslim from haram consumption. Yeah, that's why we have principle of halal. Yeah, meaning we need to avoid any haram things, prohibited things in Islam. Plus, Muslim consumers should practice the principle of moderation in their consumption. Yeah, so that's what we have discussed before. Through moderation, the problem of scarce resources could be minimized. And this is true, yeah, because if we consume moderately, we won't follow our lust or our unlimited wants, yeah, because we have our own guidelines already, that we need to consume what we really need, yeah, and it is prohibited to be extravagant in spending, yeah. So by having that guideline, the problem of scarce, of lacking resources, yeah, could be minimized or resolved. Okay, fourth one, having a systematic flow of resources and money. Yeah. So consumption allows the flow of money and resources to circulate systematically, and as such it prevents hoarding and unjust distribution of wealth. Yeah, so that's the fourth importance of consumption. Okay, now we go to Muslim consumer behavior. Okay, Muslim consumer is considered as a consumer whose behavior is in line with the Sharia paradigm and not against the norms of Islam. We can see nowadays that there are so many Muslims, but we cannot say that they are really Muslim consumers. Why? Because from what they act, from what they do, from what they consume, actually does not represent what Islam has taught us. Yeah, it's not in line with Sharia. Yeah, so to be truly a Muslim consumer, we need to make sure that everything that we do, we make sure that we observe Islamic teachings. Yeah. And what are the characteristics of Muslim consumer? Okay, to be a Muslim consumer, first, the demand for prohibited goods is zero. For example, alcoholic consumption. Yeah, so we don't need those prohibited things, those prohibited goods, yeah, in our life. So this is the first characteristic of Muslim consumer. We don't demand any forbidden things, yeah, forbidden things in Islam. Okay, second one, demand for extravagant consumption will decrease. Yeah. Why? Because we know already that we need to follow, we need to think on what we really need, yeah, in doing our consumption, in doing our spending, yeah, and we cannot totally follow our lust, just totally depends on our unlimited wants, yeah. So by having that guidelines in Islam, in Islamic consumer behavior or in Islamic consumption, so the demand for extravagance will decrease. Yeah. Okay, third, consumption will be provided for personal consumption and for others. Yeah. Maybe in other field, yeah. For example, for Western, maybe they just follow or they just focus on personal consumption, but not the others. Yeah. So in Islam, we have been taught to not being selfish. Yeah. To not be being greedy. Yeah. So by having Islamic consumption, we are able to provide consumption not only for personal but also for others, especially for those who are in need or underprivileged. Yeah. Okay, and the last one, the last characteristic of Muslim consumer is the demand for the daruriyah consumption will increase. So of course, when the demand for extravagant consumption will decrease, so most of Muslims will focus on the basic needs first. They try to fulfill the basic needs first, and only then they will look on the other requirements. So those are the characteristics of Muslim consumer.